TV7 Israel News is made possible thanks to your generous donations. Shalom ve'erev tov, good evening. Welcome to our daily TV7 Israel News Bulletin, broadcast from Jerusalem. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he would not accept Turkey's military entrenchment in Syria. U.S. Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee has said that he and U.S. Ambassador to Turkey Tom Barrack are working to establish a deconfliction mechanism to solve disagreements between Israel and Syria and Turkey. And President Donald Trump announces an economic D-Day against Iran. Israel continues to assist Colombia in dealing with the aftermath of a devastating earthquake that had struck the country, a week after the arrival in the country of the Joint Rescue and Humanitarian Aid Mission of the Israeli Foreign Ministry and the IDF Home Front Command under the direction of Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar and in cooperation with Israel's Ministry of Health. An additional aid shipment of some 5 tons is scheduled to be delivered over the weekend to include medical equipment for first aid in emergencies. The aid is being launched in parallel with the mission's activities on the ground, which continues to treat victims and search for missing persons under rubble of collapsed structures.
We are here in Cali, that is in Colombia. Israeli team together with local teams are conducting a situational assessment on how to assist to locate life in these destroyed structures, which entail one of the more challenging locations. 2 buildings of 6 levels that collapsed entirely. We know of victims within these structures. To our regret, 9 bodies were already extracted from the debris. We are still working to locate life or bodies of victims. As can be seen, this site is very busy. With that being said, we can also witness Colombia's spirit of volunteers that are helping.
Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar said in a statement that Israel will continue to stand by its friends in Colombia and the Colombian people and will assist them to the best of its ability. Meanwhile, in other news, U.S. Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee has said that he and U.S. Ambassador to Turkey Tom Barrack are working to establish a deconfliction mechanism to solve disagreements between Israel and Syria and Israel and Turkey. Ambassador Huckabee, in an exclusive interview to Al Arabiya English, stated, quote, "All the various parties, Syria, Turkey, Israel, will be able to have a mechanism through which they can communicate and make sure that any intentions are clearly understood. Nobody wants to see an escalation of intention, an intention of violence." Washington's diplomat to Jerusalem also noted in the interview that Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has made public comments mentioning his aspiration to revive the Ottoman Empire and conquer Jerusalem.
He has made the comment on many occasions publicly that he would like to rebuild the Ottoman Empire and take over Jerusalem. He has said that. So, that's on the record. Now, is he giving an imminent threat? Maybe not, probably not. But this is a tense region. Everybody is quite nervous. And so if anyone sees actions that they feel like could be a threat to them, there are reactions.
Earlier, in a pre-recorded interview with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli leader emphasized that Israel would not tolerate the presence of the Turkish military in Syria, and following the strike on Abu Duhur military airport in Syria's northwestern Idlib governorate, Netanyahu expressed his belief that the message was received in both Damascus and Ankara.
We will not tolerate Turkish military presence establishing itself as it moves south. It threatens us. We conveyed that clearly. Now we saw that Turkey intends to establish presence in the airport southern to its lines and close to Aleppo, so we conveyed a message. How would I define the message for you? Did the message go through? The message went through, but it seems that they did not listen, and so we made sure that they will understand it better.
Meanwhile, in Ankara, Turkish Defense Ministry Press Secretary Rear Admiral Zeki Akturk insisted that the Turkish Defense Ministry's contributions and efforts aimed at preserving Syria's sovereignty and territorial integrity.
Suriye'nin egemenliğinin ve
Our efforts and contributions towards preserving Syria's sovereignty and territorial integrity and helping it achieve stability and security will continue with determination.
kararlılıkla devam edecektir.
It is important to explain that Turkey had launched its first major cross-border operation into northern Syria on August 24 of 2016, dubbed Operation Euphrates Shield. Since then, Turkey had maintained a forward-deployed military presence in Syria, with subsequent operations, Olive Branch in 2018, Peace Spring in October of 2019, and Spring Shield in March of 2020, expanding Syrian territory under its control, with thousands of cross-border strikes reported during that time, under the stated goal of counterterrorism and keeping security threats away from Turkey's own southern border. Nevertheless, now that Israel conducts similar operations, far less in its bandwidth to ensure its national security interests are preserved, it is blamed by Ankara for, quote, international law and humanitarian values breaches, irrespective of the fact that Israel's military operations do not contravene with either.
İsrail, imzalanan çerçeve anlaşmasına rağmen
Israel continues its attacks and military activities in southern Lebanon despite the framework agreement that was signed, and with its recent attacks on Syria. It is also targeting the country's territorial integrity, sovereignty, and unity.
İsrail'in komşu ülkelere yönelik askeri
No allowance should be made for the perception that Israel's military interventions against neighboring countries are normal and acceptable.
edilmemelidir. Uluslararası toplumun da
We reiterate that it is essential for the international community to uphold international law and humanitarian values by taking more concrete and effective measures against Israel's actions that threaten regional peace and stability.
bir kez daha vurguluyoruz.
Turning to southern Syria, where IDF Chief of General Staff Lieutenant General Eyal Zamir toured Israel's forward-deployed security zone, stressing, quote, "We see that what is happening and are monitoring the changes on the Syrian front. We will not allow hostile forces to establish themselves on our borders, and we will know how to use our operational capabilities precisely where and when needed." General Zamir, who held an operational situation assessment while touring the security zone, has emphasized to deployed IDF forces in the sector, quote, "We must prevent the deployment of terrorist threats while also preventing the formation of a significant military threat to our borders." In other news, U.S. President Donald Trump has warned of dire economic consequences against any country that supports the Islamic Republic of Iran or provides it with any type of lifeline. In a statement on his Truth Social platform, President Trump further proclaimed that America's determined economic warfare will be an economic D-Day, calling on all of Washington's allies to stand with the United States of America to isolate and defeat the Iran threat. Earlier at the White House, President Trump was asked about what his economic plan would entail.
Well, we have things that we could sanction. We have very draconian sanctions, and we'll see what happens. Right now, the strait is open. A lot of boats are coming through. People aren't reporting that, and that may slow down a little bit at some point. But right now, a lot of boats are coming through. The naval blockade has been extremely effective. Zero, I mean, literally, while it's up, and that's been for quite a while, you know, except for a couple of little pauses where we opened it purposely with a deal. But the deal didn't terminate, you know, the deal didn't turn out to be what they said, you know, when they tell us one thing and they do another. But the blockade has been 100% successful. No boats have gotten into Iran, but they are getting in for other places. But we'll see. We're going to see what happens. It'll either be extremely good and oil prices are going to drop like a rock, or we'll continue to do exactly what we're doing. You know, they were talking about $350 a barrel, and it's today 84, 85. And we are getting a lot of oil out. But the other thing that's happened is people have found other alternatives, which they never thought about. Texas, Alaska, Louisiana, and other places. In addition, a lot of pipelines, record numbers of pipelines are being built. So I think the Hormuz Strait's not going to be quite as important as it was in the past.
Thank you for watching TV7 Israel News, which is made possible by the generosity of our viewers. If you're blessed by our productions and would like to help support TV7 Israel, which operates as a nonprofit, you can donate via our website at www.tv7israelnews.com. I'd like also to take this opportunity to immediately thank all of you who continue to support TV7 Israel, since without your help, these programs such as TV7 Israel News would not be possible. Please keep praying also for the peace of Jerusalem and salvation of Israel. I'm Jonathan Hassan wishing you an Erev Mevorach, and God willing, until our next update, Shalom from Jerusalem.